professional investor, and I want to welcome you guys today to the Note Investing for Newbies show. This is a show that I broadcast every single Monday, unless I'm vacationing someplace, right? Which I will be next Monday, but I broadcast this show every Monday, and I like to share the wonderful news of note investing with as many of you guys as I can possibly share it with, because note investing is such a great opportunity and represents such a great opportunity for those of you that want to learn how to invest your money safely to get good returns and all that. Notes are fantastic for that. So anyway, welcome you guys today. Hopefully you guys can see me and hear me okay, as this is on Facebook Live. I need a little bit of feedback. So if you're on here right now, feel free to just go ahead and hit me up in the chat to say, yeah, we're looking good. All right. As I said, I'm Desi Arnaz, and I am a professional investor, and I will be taking some time today to help you guys understand the opportunity that is right in front of you in the note space. Okay. What I'd like to do, though, is, as I do every single week, is I'd like to start, since I know that our show is Note Investing for Newbies. I know it's very common for us to have people that are checking in that are not familiar with note investing or even know what notes are. And so right after I introduce my sponsor here, I will share with you guys the definition and an example of what a note is, okay? Our show today is brought to you by Invest Brilliantly. At Invest Brilliantly, you can learn all about note investing. You can go right there and on investbrilliantly.com, you can watch some videos there where you can learn about investing in notes. You can also, while you're there, you can also read some articles there. I talk about how to invest with your IRA and other ways like that. And so I want to just invite you guys to head on over to investbrilliantly.com and check it out for yourself. But as I said, I want to welcome you to the show. I also want to encourage you today to like and share with your friends on Facebook and on YouTube. Get people over here to get this information. I think that they'll find it very, very beneficial for you, for themselves, and they'll thank you for bringing this to their attention. So welcome you guys. Welcome you guys. Give me a shout out if you're on. Hit me up in the chat, and I'll give you a shout out and introduce you to what's going on. So I see we've got a couple of folks on here today. Host chat. There we go. All right. I can't see any chat comments yet, but that's okay. So here's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be talking to you guys about investing in mortgage notes. And so what I'd like to do is just take a couple minutes and share with you guys what a note is, just in case you don't know, because I want you to understand exactly the opportunity that's in front of you. You know, because we don't know what we don't know. That's an old saying, and I'm an old guy, so I like old sayings. But we don't know what we don't know until we know, and we know, right? So here's what a note is. A note is an IOU. It's a promise to pay. Thank you, Patrick, for sharing. I definitely do appreciate that. An IOU is a promise to pay. So if you borrow money from someone and you sign the back of a business card to say, hey, I agree to pay you back, then you've literally just drafted a note. And on the back of that business card, you said, I agree to pay you back. Now, maybe you would have put on there what interest rate you're going to pay them if you're going to pay interest, or maybe you would have put when you're going to pay them back, anything like that. But whatever, you know, whatever you put on there, it doesn't really matter. The fact that you signed it makes it a note. And so that's what a note is. And when I say we invest in notes, what I'm saying is we buy those types of debt instruments. So if someone owes someone else money, the person that is going to be collecting the money, the person that's owed the money, can actually sell their position. They can say, look, I don't want to wait to get paid. If someone will give me money right now, I'll let them wait to get paid later. And so that's what we do. We step in and buy notes. But our notes have collateral. Collateral is something that you can take if you don't get the money. And the collateral that we use is called real estate. if you've ever had a car loan, then you know what I'm talking about, because if you don't pay your car loan, what happens? They come and take your car. And that is because the note that you signed when you got the car loan says that you will give the car as collateral. Well, we don't take cars, but we can take a house. If someone doesn't pay us like they're supposed to, we have the option of taking the house away from them if we choose to. Now, obviously, that's not what I want to do, but if I need to, I certainly will do that. But it's always my last resort. I want to welcome you guys in here today. It's good to see you guys. I see you guys are all popping in to say hi. It's always nice to see you guys coming on. And today I'm actually going to be talking about this. I'm going to be talking about due diligence, because when you're buying a note, one of the things that you'll want to do is you want to make sure that you're getting a good note. Okay. And that's an important fact that you need to do. Hey, Darnell, shout out. Love you, bro. That's my nephew. So proud of him. He's back east, and I'm out here on the West Coast. So anyway, what I wanted to do is I'm going to talk to you guys about the due diligence. Now, due diligence is such a huge topic because it covers every aspect of digging into the note. So today, I'm only going to talk about due diligence on the collateral itself. And what I mean by that is I'm going to be looking at the due diligence that you would actually do on the house that's going to be your collateral. How do you check out a house, especially when you figure, okay, maybe you're in one state and you are interested in buying a note on a property in another state? You don't want to have to fly to the other state or drive to the other state to go look at that asset. So I'm going to share with you guys the insider secrets that I use when I am looking at a mortgage note in another state. Recently, I recently purchased a note 2 weeks ago or so in Missouri, and I didn't have to go to Missouri to buy that note. I was able to just do what I'm going to show you guys today, and then from there, I was able to make the decision to move forward. And today I kind of had that decision ratified. As it turns out, it's so funny how small a world it is, right? I bought a mortgage on a note. I bought a note on a house in Florissant, Missouri. And I've never been there, never heard of it. And I wasn't sure if it was a nice area. But as it turns out, I got a call today from a lady who lives in that town. And she's interested in learning how to invest in notes. And I mentioned to her that I just bought that note there. And she said, wow, that's a nice area. So I was happy to hear that. My due diligence had already told me it was a nice area, but it's really nice to hear it from someone who actually lives there. Okay. So I'll show you guys how I conduct due diligence right now. And once again, just before I get started with that, I'm going to ask you guys, please just share and like this post on Facebook and on YouTube. Get people out there taking a look at this, because this is important stuff. You know, if you're going to put your money into a note, you want to know that you're not making a mistake. Okay. The beautiful thing is this: the collateral is your protection. And so when I'm buying a note on a property, what I look at very closely is what's happening with that collateral. What's actually going on with that collateral? So let me show you guys this. Here's a checklist of some of the things that I check when I am looking at the collateral on a mortgage note. One of the very first things that I do is I review the AVMs. Now, if you're brand new to note investing, AVM stands for Automated Valuation Methods, right? And so websites like Zillow, right, they use that technology, that algorithm, where they take a look. They don't go out to the property, but they take a look at what homes are selling for in that area based on square footage, bedroom size, age, and other factors. And then they give you an estimate of value. So I start my process by checking the estimated value at Zillow. I also like to check the estimated value at realtor.com. As a matter of fact, I find more accurate numbers at realtor.com than I do at Zillow. And I think it's because realtor.com is actually owned by the National Association of Realtors. And what that means is they have access to every real estate agent's database. So they know what these houses are selling for through the real estate agents, right? They have access to all that. So maybe that's why their numbers are a little more accurate. Or maybe it's because they're in the real estate business. Zillow is not in the real estate business, right? So realtors, realtor.com is in the real estate business, and they just have a better handle on the pricing, in my opinion. The other site that I like to check is Trulia. I like to check Trulia because on Trulia, not only can I check the value, I can also check the crime in the area. Trulia has something on their website called a crime map. And you can look, put in an address, and you can see what the crime is like in a particular neighborhood or community. And that's very helpful. I personally don't like to invest in areas that have high crime because I have to think of it this way. It's fine that the people are making their mortgage payments to me, the homeowner is making their mortgage payments, but if the day ever happens that they don't pay anymore, I might have to foreclose. And if I have to foreclose, I might wind up with that property. And if I wind up with that property, owning that property, do I want it if it's in a high crime neighborhood? For me, the answer is no, I don't. But I know that there are some investors that they don't really care. It really is a personal preference, but my preference is to buy in medium to low crime areas. That's where I like to buy. I don't mind some crime. I mean, there's crime everywhere. You can't get away from that. The next thing that I do is I go to Google Streets. Now, you may have seen one of these Google cars driving around your neighborhood at some point, because what Google did is they sent these driverless cars around all over the country, and they take 3D photographs of real estate. Every street, just about every street in this country has been mapped out by Google. And so you see the camera on top of this car. There's multiple cameras there, and Google can show you a neighborhood. You can literally use Google Streets to navigate through the neighborhood as though you're in the car. Okay, it's such cool technology. But what I do is I drive the streets. I walk the streets with the Google Streets, and I look for things like, how far is this property away from like shopping, maybe shopping districts, schools, parks, things like that. I want to see, right? The other things I look for, how does the neighborhood look? How does the block look? Are there a lot of boarded up houses on that street? How does the subject property compare to the neighbors? Is the house that we are going to buy the mortgage note on, is this the ugliest house or the nicest house, or just an average house on that street? I look for things like bars on the windows. If every house on the street has bars on the windows and steel doors on the front door, it's probably not a place where I will invest, because it tends to indicate that people are worried and nervous about being robbed or broken into. And for that reason, I don't want to own that real estate, and I won't take a chance on owning that real estate, because I might have trouble selling that house if it's a high crime area, right? So that's what I do with Google Streets. And I recommend that. You just put the address in and you click on the image that Google brings up, and you can just use your mouse on your computer and just kind of walk up and down the streets and look and see what's there. So if it passes the AVM and the Google Streets test, that's when I do the next thing. I start to spend some money now. I literally get eyes on the property. And what I do is I call a local real estate agent. Now, how do you find a local real estate agent? That's a good question. Back to Google, right? What I do is I pull up the address on a map in that town on Google. And then I zoom in. And when you zoom in on a Google map, it starts to tell you the names of some of the local businesses. Literally, they pop up on the screen as you zoom in closer. And I look for the closest real estate office to this property. And once I find the closest real estate office to this property, I look up their phone number and I call and I speak to the secretary or the broker of that office. And I tell them that I'm an investor. I'm buying a property over in their neighborhood, and I'd like to have them go out and take a look at it for me and tell me what they think of it. Tell me what they think of the street, the neighborhood. Tell me what they think the property might sell for if they list it for sale for me. So that's how I have that kind of conversation with them. Okay. So I like to get eyes on the property. I know that some people in the business don't get eyes on the property, but things can happen when you don't get eyes on the property. I'll share a quick story with you guys about one that I call the bum tree. This is the bum tree story. Bum as in like a person who doesn't have a job, right? So I was looking to buy a house, buy the mortgage note on a house in, I can't remember where it was, but I believe it was Tennessee. Anyway, I was looking to buy the mortgage note on a house in Tennessee, let's just say. And I called a local real estate agent and I was talking to him and he said, "What's the address of the house?" And I gave him the address and he said, "I think I know that street. But before I say anything, I'm going to drive over there and then I'll call you when I get there." So we hung up. I waited a few minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes later, he called me and he said, "Okay, I'm here, Desi. I'm here at the street." And he said, "This is just what I thought." And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "Well, it's a nice street. They have nice homes on this street. However, right across the street from this particular house is a vacant lot. And there's a big shade tree in the vacant lot. And for some reason, all the homeless people and the bums have decided that that's where they like to hang out in the summertime, sitting under that tree." And he said, "So what that means for you is that if you decided to sell this property, you may have trouble selling it because, I don't know, if people want to buy a house and every day when they walk out of the front door, they're looking at a bunch of homeless people, right?" So he said, "I don't know how that'll fly." And so just as a result of me having him go there, I was able to find that out. And I have dozens of stories like that where agents have saved my neck. And so I spend the money. Typically, these agents will charge you anywhere from $75 to as much as $200 to go out and give you some feedback, right? And you have to pay them even if you don't buy the note, but it's just the cost of doing business. But get eyes on the property because if you don't, you'll be sorry, right? You may not be sorry immediately, but the day will come where you will say, "Man, I should have got eyes on that property." So real quick, I just want to remind you guys, do me the honor of sharing this information, liking and sharing this feed with your friends, okay, on Facebook, on YouTube, whatever. Please do that. I would appreciate that. Okay. Now, let's get back to our story here. Okay. So, as I said, you want to get eyes on the property. Once you have eyes on the property, then the next thing that you'll want to do is review the broker price opinion. We call that a BPO. See, I told you I have the realtor go out there and give me their opinion of what's going on in the area, what the street is like, what the house is like, and all that. And they prepare a report. That report is called a broker price opinion, BPO. And so review that BPO. Once you review that BPO, you're going to have a pretty good handle on what's going on in that community because the realtors are going to share that information with you. Then the next thing that I would do after that is I would then get myself a title report. And a title report, again, it's going to cost you some money, somewhere between $100 and $200. But you get the title report, and you have to pay for that whether you buy the note or not. Again, it's a cost of doing business. You have to pay for the title report, but the title report is going to tell you if the title is clear, right? Would you want to buy a mortgage note that has a big tax lien on it that you could get stuck with? As a matter of fact, the reason that I use that example is because I was about to buy a note that my team found out has a $17,000 tax lien on it. So what we did is we called the state, because it's a state tax lien. We called the state. We talked to the government there, and they explained to us that their tax lien takes priority over our mortgage. Hello, did you hear that? They said, now this is not always true, but in this state, it's the state of Maine, their tax lien takes priority over our mortgage. And so what that means is that if the homeowner doesn't pay that tax lien, the government is going to take the house It won't even be me taking the house. The government is going to take the house. So the only way that I could protect myself if I bought that mortgage would be to pay that tax lien myself and then try to get the homeowner to pay me back. So I don't know. Maybe I'm going to buy that note. Maybe I'm not. But you have to understand this stuff. And those are the kinds of things you can find out with a title report. Right? You get the title report and you say, oh, wow, I didn't know about this or I didn't know about that. The other thing on a title report that I look for is to make sure that the note is in the right position. Now, you may, as a newbie to note investing, you may not understand this, but basically mortgage notes can hold a position of priority when they are liens against the real estate. It's called a first mortgage, a second mortgage, a third mortgage, and so forth, okay? I only invest in first mortgages, meaning that my mortgage will be paid first in the event of a foreclosure or a loss, like from an insurance claim. My mortgage would be paid first. If I had a second mortgage, then my mortgage would be paid second after the mortgage, the first company, the company that has the first mortgage is paid, if there's any money left. If there's no money left, then I don't get paid if I'm in second position. That's why I don't buy second. I buy first because I want to get paid every time. So that's how I do my due diligence on notes when I am looking at them. You can learn how to do this kind of stuff. Just head on over to noteinvestoruniversity.com. Noteinvestoruniversity.com. And you can sign up for my training there, and I'll teach you all this stuff. And I'll teach you how to buy notes using your own money, using your retirement money. I'll even show you how to buy notes using other people's money, because it's not about how much money you have. It's really about how much knowledge you have and your ability to put the deals together. There are people out there that will fund your note deals for you. And I show you how to find those people, how to approach them, how to negotiate with them, how to put the paperwork together so that even if you don't have any money, you can still start building your note portfolio. And if you follow my training, now you need to hear me clearly, okay? If you follow my training, you're going to love this. I will show you how to build a $1 million note portfolio in only 4 years, starting with no money, but in only 4 years, you have $1 million note portfolio that will spin off $60,000 to $80,000 a year in interest income for you, even if you don't do another thing. And that money will come in for decades. That's the power of investing in notes. You don't have to own the real estate. You get to collect the income from the real estate. It's called interest income. And you don't have to deal with the tenants. You don't have to deal with the toilets, the trash, the taxes. None of that stuff is your problem because you're the lender and you're not the owner of the real estate. So you have income, you have safety, because if they don't pay you, of course, you can take the real estate and then sell it. And you have income, you have safety, and you have great returns, because when you buy these notes, you buy them at a discount, which boosts your return on investment, your ROI. Great ROIs. Head on over to Note Investor University if you want to be a part of our training program and coaching program. If you don't want to be a part of the training and coaching program, but you just want to understand this stuff, then you just head on over to my website. My website is investbrilliantly.com, and at investbrilliantly.com, you can learn all about note investing. I have free videos there. You can learn all about note investing right there. I want to thank you guys for sharing this. I do appreciate it. Definitely do appreciate it. You guys are out there doing the good stuff, fighting the good fight. I want to just tell you this too. You can help a lot of people if you're willing to study this, because people don't know how to do this. Most people don't realize that they can invest in mortgage notes and change their financial future forever. I've done it. I've watched my daughter do it. I'm watching her fiance do it. I've watched other students do it. You can do this. And the beautiful thing about it is this is ground floor opportunity, because until this last recession, the only people that were investing in notes on a large scale at all were wealthy individuals, large insurance companies, and banks. That's who was doing it. In 1938, when Fannie Mae was introduced, was created by Congress, that created the secondary mortgage market. But we were locked out of it as ordinary folks. It was just during this last recession that this became open to us, because literally the secondary mortgage market investors were overwhelmed with too many foreclosures. And that's why this opportunity even exists today. And that's why I say it's a ground floor opportunity. You need to be investing in mortgage notes. And if you don't have any money, that's okay. It's about what's up here. If you know how to put the deals together, we can show you how to get the money. You just have to understand how to put the deals together. Most people don't know how to put a note deal together. But if you know how to do it, you know how to do it right, the money will show up for you, and we'll show you just how to get the money. Not by going to the banks. It's not about your credit. You know, one of our students recently borrowed $80,000, didn't even have to have a credit check. Because it's not about that. It's about skills. It's about how to do this stuff. And that's what I teach you. So if you want to learn how to do this stuff, you can head on over to my training coaching site. It's noteinvestoruniversity.com, noteinvestoruniversity.com, and I'll teach you that. Or if you just want to teach yourself, you can do YouTube, right? You can do YouTube, and you can do my website, which is investbrilliantly.com. Hey guys, I want to thank you all so much for participating in this today. I hope you found this enlightening. I'm not going to be around next week. I'm taking a week to head on down to Florida. I heard Florida is open. California is still not really open. So I'm heading down to Florida to go to Disney World and some of the other attractions down there, and just have some fun with my daughter, my granddaughter, and spend some of the money that we've made and continuing to make. The beautiful thing is this: because I'm a note investor, while I'm in Florida, I absolutely guarantee you, I'm going to earn more than my vacation will cost me. Despite the fact that I do everything first class, I'm going to earn from my notes more than I'm going to spend on this vacation. So that's what I love about this note business. And unlike when I was a landlord, when I used to collect rent as a landlord, which I did that for 30 plus years, when I used to collect rent, I couldn't really pocket all that money, because who knows, maybe someone was going to move out, or maybe I had to replace a window or a roof or a furnace or a water heater or whatever. But in the note business, when I collect my payment for the mortgage payment, it's just mine. It's mine. It goes in my pocket. I don't have to share it with anybody. It's mine. I don't have to use it to buy a roof for one of my buildings, because I don't own the building. It's a wonderful way to invest. And as I said, it's not about how much money you have. It's about how much knowledge you have. So it's about learning this stuff. That's why I'm teaching. This is my way to give back. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do any of this. I can just relax for the rest of my life and not have to worry about a thing financially ever again. Imagine that. Not ever having to worry about money. Hit me up in the chat. Would it be great never to have to worry about money? Would that be great? Fantastic. Yeah, that would be great. You're right. That would be great. That is great. Not to ever have to worry about money again. And then once you learn how to do this, you can do what I've done. Start teaching other people. Start teaching your family, so that they can get out of this day-to-day grind and struggling. You don't have to be broke. Not anymore. Not with this opportunity in front of you. Ground floor opportunity. All you got to do is step up. Step up. Why wouldn't you? You got me. I'm here. I'm willing to teach you. Take advantage of it, because the day will come where I won't be willing to teach anymore. I guarantee you that. I'm 67 now. I'm not going to keep doing this. I'm not going to keep teaching people. But if you want to learn it, I'll teach it to you. I'll show you how to do this. I'll show you how to become wealthy with this business. Okay? I'll show you how to become wealthy with this business. You're right. You're right. That's great. Look at this. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Okay? You can do this. It's not hard. You just have to follow the steps, right? It's like a recipe. Follow the recipe. It'll work for you. No different than going to college and they say, if you take these classes in this order and you do your homework, you're going to, at the end of the day, you're going to become an engineer or a doctor. It's the same thing here. I'm telling you, you do these things at the end of 4 years, within 4 years, you're going to be a millionaire. It's really that simple. Just have to do it. Okay, I know it sounds like a bunch of hype, but it's not. I'm just really trying to get through to you. I'm really trying to get through to you because nobody else is going to tell you the truth like this. You can do this, okay? And you should do this. All right, guys. Hey, thank you all so much for playing today, boys and girls. I do appreciate it, and I hope you guys found this enlightening and insightful and inspiring. And I hope to see you as one of my students here very soon. Okay, my students do well, and you can do well too. God bless you guys. See you all on our next show. You're welcome, Robert. Robert says thanks. Warren says thanks. Does that say Warren G? Really? Warren G? I like it. You're welcome, Warren G.